Actually, you know what? I want to watch the Scepter of the Shifting Sands. Because this is going to be, this is pretty involved. The best quest line ever made by Blizzard.
Hey guys, what's up? Mad Season here, back with another video for you.
Hi.
It's a new month, so I have a new video for you voted by the patrons. This time, it's a new series.
Cool question.
Yeah, I know I have too many already, but I like them. I'm calling it Quest Log, and it's a series focused on the more epic and cool quest chains in the game, both ones that have been removed, and also ones that you can still do today.
We wiped on him a lot.
The name might be pending. I'm not sure if I like that one, so we'll see. Give me any suggestions if you have any. But for this one, I wanted to cover the Scepter of the Shifting Sands questline from Vanilla World of Warcraft. I've danced around this chain a few times whenever I mentioned the old AQ40 event, but I think it's time to give it its proper due since it was one of the bigger chains from back in the day.
It was the biggest one.
It even gave you a legendary mount and a unique title if you did it fast enough.
Fuck yeah, dude.
It required coordination,
that's the event.
Not just from your entire guild, but also the server. It spanned dozens and dozens of quests, included reputation farming, material farming, raiding both indoors and outdoors, and even interacting with major lore characters and heroes from past Warcraft games.
That was Malfurion. I remember whenever we finally got to actually talk to Malfurion and see him the first time, I was so excited because we had never really seen him a lot in WoW before then.
It's considered by many to be the granddaddy of all quest chains, especially for its time. Completing it back when the content was current was a huge achievement before achievements were even added to the game, and you were awarded appropriately.
You're goddamn right.
It was removed in the Cataclysm expansion, along with a ton of other stuff. What is dead may never die. So, let's go over it from the beginning.
I can't believe they did that.
You might find this handy as a guide for when Classic launches, but that's not really the intention since I won't be going over boss strategies and whatnot. I just want to give you an overall look at the chain. And we'll do it in two parts since it is quite long, and I do want to be fairly thorough. It all started in the Silithus Zone, which was released in patch 1.9, which was the Ahn'Qiraj patch.
Holy shit.
In this one, we got two raids, the 20-man Ruins of Ahn'Qiraj and the 40-man Temple of Ahn'Qiraj.
That shit was real.
But there was a catch. The gate leading to these raids was locked, and the only way to open it was to complete something called the Ahn'Qiraj War Effort.
Yep.
These gates were locked long ago during a conflict called the War of the Shifting Sands, where the minions of the old god Cthulhu, the Qiraji, launched an invasion upon Kalimdor. Not going into super detail here, many people died in the skirmish, but ultimately the Qiraji were temporarily defeated by being locked in their kingdom by the Archdruid Fandral Steghelm and a few dragons. There's still a threat that needs to be taken care of though, so the Alliance and the Horde have to work together to launch an offensive against the Silithid Kingdom. And to do that, they need copper bars.
Whoa, wait, let me see, how many is that? 600,000? 850,000 thorium bars? Oh my god, I never even got a chance to look. Wait, is that 2 million linen bandages? What the fuck? What the fuck? This is gonna take forever.
And many other crafting materials. You turned these into NPCs in your faction capital, and it kept a running tally that was shared with your entire server. So, hundreds of thousands of crafting materials, and it was a pretty time-consuming thing.
Yeah, that's insane, dude.
Definitely a good time for gold makers, that's for sure. And it was also the first time that I recall that the Horde and Alliance had to actually work together in-game. This was pretty substantial since the faction war was at its peak, so it's like two enemies working together for the greater good, which would be repeated later on, but this was pretty cool since it was the first time.
Badass. See that star thing right there?
While all of this was going on though, In the Cenarian Hold Hub in Silithus, you could get a quest called What Tomorrow Brings from an NPC named Bearstolth of the Shifting Sands, a Night Elf hunter. He gives you some cryptic information and basically sends you to the Caverns of Time in the Tannerus Zone to talk to the Bronze Dragonflight, who'll sort of be your brain trust for this chain.
Right.
They have a reputation tied to them called the Brood of Nazdormu. You're pretty familiar with these guys by now.
I'm exalted with them too.
They're the time-traveling dragonflight located at the Caverns of Time, which was closed in vanilla, so this little hub was right outside of the gates.
Not if you get in from the behind.
The specific NPC you're looking for here is Anachronos, and he doesn't mess around. He gives you a follow-up quest called Only One May Rise, which requires you to kill the Broodlord Lashlayer boss in the Blackwing Lair raid.
Holy shit.
So, already...
That one's 0 to 60 real quick. I was like, oh yeah, go talk to this guy. Everything's gonna be fine. It's like, yo, go clear BWO, you fucking bitch. Oh my god, I forgot all about that. And you get 57 silver whenever you kill him. I need to take a piss. I'll be right back. Sorry about that.
We have some raiding content here. At this point, though, if you were a serious guild, this wasn't a huge challenge as he was only the third boss in the raid.
It was a joke, boss.
The only challenging part was that, until a Burning Crusade patch, just one head dropped for just one person out of your entire 40-man raid.
Yep.
Well, it makes sense if you think about it. One Draconid drops one head.
There's a quest in Hillsbrad Foothills for Murloc heads. Blizzard, no, I don't want to hear any rationalization for, oh, now it makes sense. Because I used to spend an hour every time I did that quest to get 10 fucking heads. Don't give me any bullshit about continuity with heads.
Pretty unforgiving though, and you can safely bet that there was a ton of drama that came with it. The question was, out of all 40 raid members, who got the head?
Me.
It varied from guild to guild, of course, but
it's gonna be me.
Whenever something is in such a high demand and low supply, you knew that there was going to be trouble, and only a fraction of the people who started this chain would actually make it to the very end.
That's true. You usually give it to the person that's like the main person.
Will be the one to get the legendary mount and the unique title.
Oh.
Only one may rise, indeed.
Oh.
But you took him down, a lucky person got some head, and you brought it back. This is personally where my quest ended back in the day, but if you continued, you got the next part titled The Path of the Righteous. Even though you just defeated one of Nefarian's most powerful lieutenants, the Bronze Dragonflight.
The guy in my guild that got the closest to this convinced some 15-year-old girl to farm out all the silithid fragments for him because you could do it on like an altar. Like I forgot exactly how it worked, but she was able to basically farm out all of the silithid fragments for him, and then in response he said he'd get her into the raiding guild. He did, actually.
Is still distrustful of you, and you must prove yourself in order to help him. You're given a special badge called the Agent of Nazdormu, and if you have this in your bags, upon killing silithid creatures in the game, you're able to loot carapace fragments from them. For this quest, you needed to get 200 of these fragments, and after you turn it in, you got 500 reputation with the Brood, and you unlock a repeatable quest for another 200 fragments. You started at 0 of 36,000 at Hated.
That sucks.
And to get the next quest, you needed to get to neutrals, so you're talking thousands upon thousands of fragments. Yeah, like I said, this is where I tapped out back in the day. It was doable, but holy cow did it take a long time.
What the fuck?
There was a way to speed it up though. Each time you completed this quest, you also got an item called the Proxy of Nazdormu, which deputized another player and gave them the badge that allowed them to farm fragments, and the fragments themselves weren't bound, so typically guilds, if they were smart, would sort of put their focus on a few people, have everyone farm fragments for them
Yep.
to try to complete it more efficiently.
That's what we're gonna do in my guild.
So, you farmed and farmed and
It's just what
farmed
makes sense.
until you melded into your chair, and once you reached neutral, you were ready for the next part.
There you go.
You were sent to the Silithus Zone to obtain something
Slave,
called
yes.
a crystalline tear,
Yes, slave.
and to gaze into its depths. As the quest says, the tear serves as a symbol of the great losses beset upon the bronze dragonflight in the War of the Shifting Sands. Upon clicking it, you get a little cutscene here, recreating the battle in the war. Various members of the Dragonflights create a diversion for the Archdruid Fandral Steghelm and Anachronos to seal the gate to Ankiraj.
Wow.
You may remember Steghelm as the Archdruid of Darnassus during Vanilla,
Yeah, he was
while
the big
Malfurion
dick.
Stormrage was lost in the Emerald Nightmare.
Yep.
He's kind of a pecker because he was sabotaging everything all along and kept Malfurion in the Nightmare, but that's a story for
What?
another time. So,
Oh, really?
he and Anachronos and the dragons
No wonder we
cast
killed
nature, frost, and fire spells upon the small
Fuck
army in
that
front
guy.
of them. Anachronos time locks
I didn't know
them,
that.
and they successfully seal off the gate to the kingdom.
Okay.
Anachronos tells Steghelm that if he should ever need to gain access, he would need the Scepter of the Shifting Sands, and that he needed to use this scepter on the gong right outside of the gate,
Right.
although
Okay.
it would once again unleash the Kiraji upon the world. He hands him the scepter, but Steghelm is having none of it. Having recently lost his son, Valstan, he wants nothing to do with the Kiraji or the dragons for that matter, and knowing that the scepter was the only way of letting them back out, he smashed it into pieces and walked off into the sunset.
See, I don't remember any of this, dude.
Anachronos picked up the
I just
shattered
remember the
fragments,
game.
but the scepter was no more.
Oh, wow.
Returning to him, he says that he entrusted
Holy
the
shit.
shards that were etched into the scepter to 3 guardians of each dragonflight: Iranicus of the green, Villastraz of the red, and Azurgos of the blue, and Anna himself has the bronze one. Well, apparently, he's a really bad judge of character because all
Those are
3
all
of those
bosses.
dragons are either evil or crazy.
Yeah, that guy's an idiot.
To open the gate, we need to remake this
I
scepter,
thought you could see
so
time.
we need the shards. The quest seemingly ends
fuck?
here, but he gives you a hint and says to seek out these dragons. From here, the quest splits into 3 parts: the green shard, the red shard, and the blue shard.
This took me, like, 6 months to figure out that after I finished this part of the quest, I needed to go do something else. Like, I did this, like, a lot of it I did in, like, Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King. So I never really knew how to do it on my own, and I would never look anything up. I would just always do everything the way that I wanted to do it.
Let's tackle the green shard first. He mentioned Iranicus as a guardian, and if you remember, you could find his shade in the Temple of Atal
That guy was a
Hakar,
dick
also
sucker.
known as the Sunken Temple.
gonna be
Lore-wise,
doing
he
that.
was to enter the temple and destroy the physical manifestation of the blood god Hakar, who resided there. He was successful, but
Oh,
he went
there
insane
it is,
shortly
dude.
after due to the corruption of the
There it
Emerald Nightmare.
is.
He never returned, and his shade remains inside, attacking any intruders. This place was quite the labyrinth to say the least, but you progressed through it, killed some trolls, dragons, and eventually reached his room. Except, if you completed that initial scepter chain, Malfurion's Stormrage will appear in front of you and offer a quest. He says to get the green scepter shard, you must first cleanse Iranicus of his corruption. Just taking out his shade won't do it.
Oh, you have to go to, like,
He
Moonglade.
tells you that you need to seek the aid of Tyrande Whisperwind through one of his agents,
I think that's what it
and
was.
bids you farewell. This agent turns out to be a wisp located north of the entrance to the city. It pierces your thoughts and tells you that Tyrande will be notified of her plans to cleanse Iranicus, and you're sent to the Keeper Remulos in the Moonglade hub to the east.
Yep. This was
Remember,
really hard.
Iranicus is in the Emerald Nightmare along with Malfurion,
I didn't
and
know
we need to pull
Iranicus
him
was in
out
there.
to cleanse him.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it has to be of his own will, so we have to lay a trap for him and use Malfurion's physical body as bait to lure him out.
Oh, yeah.
So, to do that, you need 4 items called Fragments of the Nightmare's Corruption, located all over
fuck?
the world. Across Azeroth, you could find these green emerald dream portals.
Damn.
Typically, they had outdoor raid bosses guarding them, along with elite dragonkin.
That was Lethon
These shards
right there.
had a small chance to drop from these dragonkin,
Dude, I forgot
so
all
you'd form
about
a small
this
group
shit.
to farm those. There's one located in
Yeah,
Ashenvale,
I guess I did
the
solo back
Hinterlands, Fairless, and Duskwood, so lots of traveling. The one in Duskwood was a little special, and it required a full-on raid, as the mob who dropped the shard here
Yes.
was the Twilight Corruptor.
Yep, I did
This guy
this on
didn't
my
drop
own.
any
I tried
loot
to
aside
solo
from
him.
the shard, and he was designed for a full raid of 40 people to
Yep.
take him down, so again, being in a guild
It's not
was a
that hard.
necessity.
It's not that hard.
But once you had the shards, you're ready to summon Aranicus. Remulos walks over to the hub, Nighthaven, which is swarming with guards, preparing
Yep.
for the oncoming assault
Yeah,
of
this
the
part
Green
was
Dragon.
really fucking good now.
He begins the summoning ritual
I did this with a
above
group of
the
like
nearby
3
lake,
people.
and Aranicus arrives. The hub is swarmed with ghostly shades, and you have to defend the townsfolk until Tyrande arrives to
Yep.
cleanse Aranicus.
Yep.
Remember, we don't want to kill him, just free him of his corruption. Now, why we didn't wait until Tyrande was actually here before we summon him, I have no idea.
It took her forever to get ready.
But whatever.
That's why.
The actual fail triggers here are if Aranicus
realistic.
or the Keeper Remulos dies, so you must keep them alive at all times.
Of course.
It required at least one full raid if I remember correctly. Typically, guilds would even call in
yeah, I
other
would say
guilds
it did.
to
Yeah, it
sort
was
of help
about that
them
hard.
out since this was out in the world.
Let me go ahead and pause real quick. I did update BattleNet. There was a small update. And so I've already done the update, okay, guys? Thank you.
Anyone could help if they wanted to, or possibly on PvP servers, even sabotage each other, and get some easy kills on some unsuspecting
Tyrant
raiders.
of the Dream, dude.
If you hold
This
out
shit
long
was
enough
actually
until
hard to do.
Tyrande arrives, she exorcises Aranicus of his corruption. You know, the power of a loon compels you,
Right,
that
of
sort of
course.
thing.
Dude, I should have
And
recorded myself
actually,
doing
something
this.
neat was that when he's
Actually, yo, I
cleansed,
bet I did.
the entire server got an emote saying that
Wait.
Aranicus, Tyrant of the Dream, is wholly consumed by the light of a loon. Tranquility sets in over Moonglade.
I wish there were more things in the game that did that. And, like, I think Blizzard should have done that more. Or, like, whenever one player does, like, makes, like, a big accomplishment, everybody fucking knows about it. And even though it's not really a big deal, I think it's pretty fucking badass. I don't know, it's just like those little things. Whenever they'd, like, yell out your name, whenever you'd complete the Timbermaw Hold reputation, I don't know, I think those things are special. No, not Citizens of Dalaran, okay? That's the wrong way of doing... Well... That is true. That's very true. Holy shit, I didn't even think of that.
This mystified people back in the day. They'd go, who the heck is Aranicus? That's what I thought back then, not knowing the full
Yep,
extent
that's
of the
about right.
quest chain. So, a pretty tough event. But if you're successful, you got the green Scepter shard. Just 2 more to go.
What about the...
And you also got a choice between a caster nature resistance
Wow.
necklace or some agility nature resistance boots.
Damn, that's actually really fucking
These
good.
are pretty
Holy
appropriate
shit.
rewards because one of
it's
the
AQ.
bosses in Encourage, you know, the place we're trying to unlock,
Yeah.
required a lot of nature resistance to kill, so
Oh my
these were
God.
actually pretty useful to have.
Damn, I forgot all about that.
Alright, this is about the halfway point,
I
I'd
probably
say.
held on to that
Maybe
item.
a bit past it. Like I said, this one's a doozy, so I'm going to take a break here and finish up later. Keep an eye out for part 2, which will hopefully be done within a week. In that one, we'll finish up with the 2 remaining shards, talk about the finale, the rewards, and all of that good stuff, so I'll see you then. I hope you enjoyed this series. I think it could have some potential since there are a lot of cool quest chains in the game.
This is what it was all
and
about,
like
man.
I said, not just the
Like
ones that were
doing quests
removed.
like that, like the raid level
There's a few
quests.
current ones that I'd like to talk about as well.
Okay, which ones?
But I just figured that I'd knock this one out first since it's like the holy grail.
Yeah, you're goddamn right. it is.
Anyways, that's all I got, I guess. I hope you found the video
We'll go to the
interesting
next one
or
after this.
entertaining. Like it if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one.
Okay.
Peace.
Farewell for now, mortals. We hope you enjoyed today's video. See you again soon.
That was what MMOs were about, man. Like, they were all about making content that, like, you and the boys would go out and do in the world. It's like you went to Moonglade and that shit was going down. It was a big deal. I fucking loved it. Like, the Scepter of the Shifting Sands, the quest line, like, inside that quest line, had the ideology of what I think the game should be all about. Yeah, and guys, I know obviously it's on sub mode right now. We've got a, so basically, actually, I don't even know if I can make that joke, never mind. Anyway, like, as soon as the bot, they deal with the bots, we're going to take it off sub mode, okay, guys? It's just so the mods can keep up with the bots.
Hey guys, what's up? Mad Season here, back with another video for you in the quest log series where I go over some of the more epic or cool quest chains in World of Warcraft. In this one, we're returning to the Scepter of the Shifting Sands chain. In the first part, we covered the beginning of the chain, we talked about the war effort to open the gates, some head collecting, some insect part collecting,
that's my favorite
and
part.
how we needed to rebuild this special scepter by going all around the world collecting different colored shards.
Yeah, I do like this music, it's great.
We covered the green shard in part 1, so you may want to watch that one first. I'll have a link in the description. So, we just have 2 more to go, the blue and the red shards.
Okay.
The latter was actually pretty simple compared to the other chains. If you remember, our contact for this whole chain, Kronos, entrusted these shards to various dragons. The red one was entrusted to Velistraz, who you may remember as the second boss in the Blackwing Lair raid. We already visited this place once.
Wait, no wide peepo happy. I thought I had wide peepo happy. How do you add wide peepo happy? If we can do that, I like the peepo happy and wide peepo happy. So we will actually do that one, okay, guys? I have no problem with that. So just give me a link to it, mods, and I will enable it.
For the Broodlord Lashlair's head, but this time, things are a little more difficult.
Okay.
If you're on this part of the chain, Velistraz will offer you a special quest called Nefarious' Corruption.
Oh, you have to kill him in like 2 hours, right?
He explains to you that Nefarian has stolen the red scepter shard and will destroy it within 5 hours, making this a timed run.
You know what else is a time run? The fucking servers, because I just came up and we need to get over level 40 right now. Let's go.